10 facts you might not have known about Advance Wars. Number 1. Design Maps Glitch. In Advance Wars 1, losing the 11th field training mission causes a glitch if you go into the map editor, place a unit, and then delete that unit. The game goes into a glitch state of sorts where it thinks you're both in the map editor and playing a battle at the same time. This allows you to map edit literally any map in the game if you can navigate into campaign mode or what have you. You can do quite a lot with this, including saving any map to design map slots, letting you make maps of varying sizes, but the most common way it's used is to erase the enemy HQ, which causes an instant victory. You know, there are many hard mode maps where it was believed that a perfect score was impossible. Hard mode scores are based entirely on your turn count, and the turn limit for many of them makes it impossible to clear them in time. But not with this glitch. Stick it to the man and show off your 999 points on rivals. Number 2. Battle Cube. The pre-deployed map, Battle Cube, was actually changed between the North American and European versions of the original Advance Wars. The original map has all 4 countries fighting each other on an island shaped like the symbol for a certain other country, which is a pretty sneaky Easter egg. However, the European version of the map splits the island into 5 different islands. I can only imagine that they thought the island looked just a little too similar to a certain real-world army sigil, but there's no direct evidence to back up that theory. Speaking of Easter egg maps, if you hold L and R as you enter the map editor in Advance Wars 1 or 2, the game loads a map with the force spelling out the word Nintendo in Japanese. Fun! Advance Wars 1 also has the distinction of being the only game in the series with unique unit loadouts for the pre-deployed multiplayer maps based on what CO each player has chosen. It's not always balanced properly. Number 3. Fixed luck damage. In Advance Wars 1, the single-player modes rig the amount of luck damage you do on the first few turns. No one is really sure why this happens, but if you go on Game Boy Wars Network and look at the Advance Wars 1 section, they list on each map's page how many turns your luck damage is rigged for. It's nothing you really need to pay too much attention to when playing casually. And I can't really prove it through video footage either, so you'll have to take my word on this one, but there is a page on Game Boy Wars Network discussing this. Number 4. Copower Curiosities. Some of the powers in Advance Wars 1 are a little odd compared to their Advance Wars 2 counterparts. For example, did you know Sammy's double time gave her infantry units 1 movement cost on all terrain except sea terrain? This was removed from the same power in Advance Wars 2. Also strange in Advance Wars 1 is Max's Max Force power. It gives all direct combat units plus 87 attack, which is a strange number on its own, but they also applied the bonus to APCs and T-Copters, even though they can't attack at all. Lots of COs in Advance Wars 1 also get extra defense on their affected units, like Sammy and Eagle, but Drake is just weird because instead of adding direct defense to his C units, they get extra terrain stars, which is basically the same thing, except terrain star defense is affected in a small way by remaining HP, whereas direct defense is not. It's not a huge difference, but still, that's a very weird way of adding a defense bonus. Number 5. Rain reduces vision. Rain reduces your vision in Fog of War. I know that sounds like it should have been obvious, but it's very rare to find Fog of War and Rain in the same map. In Advance Wars DS, Rain also induces Fog of War, so it might seem like this only applies to Advance Wars DS, but it's common across all games with weather. Speaking of weather, you may know that Olaf and Drake's profiles state that it snows and rains more often in their presence, but this is a half-truth. This will only ever apply when playing in random weather. These COs cause the random weather selector to pick their respective weather more often. That's it. A few Drake maps in Advance Wars 1 changed the weather to rain, but this is a scripted event. Number 6. CO power charge is affected by unit price. In Advance Wars 1 and 2, the amount of meter you get from taking damage is in fact affected by any CO price modifiers. In other words, Colin gets less meter from losing a unit than Kanbei would. Here's the proof. Here we have a battle where Colin and Kanbei each have a tank and an infantry. When I destroy all of these units, we see that Kanbei has a little over a full star in his meter, whereas Colin has just under a full star. Kanbei's expensive units means he gets more from losing them. It's not a huge difference though, however it does mean that when Hachi uses either of his powers, the enemy will, for that turn, earn even less meter from destroying Hachi's units due to the reduced prices. Yet another ability Hachi had that most people probably don't even think about. Number 7, the gas trick. This is a glitch present in all 4 Advance Wars games. Basically, select the unit and move the cursor one space diagonally away from the tile you want to move to. Now, you need to move the cursor directly to the tile you want to move to, and that means hitting 2 directions on the D-pad and the A button on the same frame. In the DS games, this is much easier because you can simply tap the tile with the stylus. The end result of this is that when you complete your move, you will find that you only spent 2 fuel on the move instead of the number of spaces you moved. This glitch is helpful for keeping air units in the air way longer than they normally could be, but really, there aren't a huge amount of places where this will make or break a battle. Which is fine because it's cheating anyways and no self-respecting player would use it in a multiplayer battle, right? Number 8, cruisers refuel copters. The cruiser has a rarely used ability to load copter units in all 4 Advance Wars games. You probably knew that already but never used the ability, but what you probably didn't know is that the loaded copters also get refueled and more ammo, like they would on an aircraft carrier. However, only the aircraft carrier can repair units loaded, an important distinction. I mean, this all makes sense, but I've literally never heard of anyone not just using an APC to refuel copters, even in a sea battle. I guess they decided another option for refueling them was needed. Anyways, this works on all 4 games, including Days of Ruin. Number 9, 2-Week Vacation. There's a mission in Advance Wars 2 called 2-Week Test, so named because it is a 15-turn defense mission where you must hold out until reinforcements arrive. Many of you may know that the normal mode version of this map can be beaten by doing absolutely nothing, because the AI is not smart enough to capture the HQ in time, and you start with no units, so they can't destroy anything to win by route. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The hard mode version is broken too! Even though you start with actual units on hard mode, this mission does not fail if you lose all your units. I don't understand this one at all. They couldn't have possibly thought the map was too hard. You'd have to be really inexperienced to lose at a defense mission in an intelligent systems game. So yes, on either difficulty, doing absolutely nothing works. Just don't expect a high ranking for it. Number 10, Enemy Freeze Glitch. This is an AI glitch that exists in Advance Wars 1 and 2. When an enemy is sitting on a property of their color, placing an infantry within 3 spaces of the property will cause the unit to do absolutely nothing. Indirect attackers move but never fire, but all other units just sit there and do nothing. This only works with ground units on cities or the enemy HQ, but in Advance Wars 1, it will also work with air units on enemy airports. It never works with sea units because ports don't work with this glitch. This is highly abusable in many situations and is probably one of the glitches they should fix in Reboot Camp. Advance Wars 1's AI was also notorious for prioritizing transporters when selecting an attack target, especially the APCs. The only thing they prioritize attacking more is capturing infantry. Both games also have a problem where the AI spams landers without even using them unless they absolutely have to. Very, very strange. So that's 10 facts about Advance Wars that you might or might not have already known. Did you learn something new? Comment below if so. Happy 20th anniversary Advance Wars series. Stay tuned for Reboot Camp in December.